Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie, host and head bookologist here at the Get Literate podcast. I'm a book-loving, notebook-hoarding reader and writer on a mission to change lives one book and one notebook at a time. On this podcast, we explore the power of bookology and leading literate lives. We talk all things books and reading and notebooks and writing, mixed in with mindful practices and creativity to create lives we love. You can expect regular weekly episodes focused on 3 books you need to know about on a bookish theme and how to bring those themes to life in our actual lives too. You can also expect author interviews, notebooking inspiration, and topics to help us grow through what we go through and take inspired action to make our lives better. So grab a notebook and your TBR list and let's get literate. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Get Literate podcast. I'm Stephanie, your host and head bookologist, welcoming you back to another episode to explore how reading and writing can make life better. Last week, I revealed my summer reading challenge on the podcast. But this wasn't just your typical summer reading challenge. It was a challenge to help you harness the power of reading to make your life better and grow into the summer version of you that you wanted to be. We explored 3 ways to choose 3 books over the 3 summer months. We chose for June a book to explore who we want to be in this season. For July, a book that would help us lean into how we want to feel in the summer season. And in August, a book to help remind us what we want to do in the summer season before it is too late. Now, I loved hearing about the books that you are putting on your 3-book summer reading challenge template. I've loved seeing the books so that I can borrow some of them, but I'm most excited of seeing how that template will grow as you keep reading. So if you haven't shared your book ideas or even your completed template with me, I would love to see it. You can send it to me at stephanieaffinito@gmail.com. You can send me a DM in your favorite social media platform, or you can head to the Get Literate Facebook community and post it there. Just look me up on Facebook, answer a quick question, and I will let you write in. But now that that challenge has been set, and thankfully so many of you have said yes to it, it's time to explore how to actually get that reading done. Now, we would all like to think that the summer season is slower and it's lazier and it's more relaxed and there's more time for reading and all the things we want to do. But we also need to be real. Many of us have children who are on the move all summer long. Many of us still have work that we have to do and get to and go do. And then there's all sorts of other tasks that pop up in this season, like yard work and garage sales and whatever else you have on your summer plate. So it's important to prepare, right? We often prepare for so many things in our lives for other people, right? Think about our kids as examples. We have their lives so prepared, whether it's what they're going to put in their lunchbox, where they need to go, what they need to have to get there, which ride is going to get them there. And we often even plan their summer reading lives better than our own. I know I did this as an educator, helping my kids take that last step out of school in June in order to go on to their summer reading lives, right? We would help give them a summer list of books that they could read. We'd introduce them to the library programs. We'd help get books into their hands and send them reminders and give them tracking sheets to help them celebrate. We would do all of those things, but what about us? What do we do as adults to prepare for the best summer reading life yet? Well, that's what today's episode is all about. I am relying on my habits, hearts, community framework, those 3 things we all need in order to build a literate identity, to bring you 10 things to do today to build the best summer reading life ever starting tomorrow. So I'm going to go through them 1 through 10. Now, they are not necessarily in a linear order. You don't have to do these in this order. You may certainly jump around. But I think if you do them stacked in this sequence, you'll find that there is a method to my madness and that each one will build upon the next. So, step 1 to preparing for the best summer reading life yet is to chart your new summer rhythm and schedule time to read. So many of us think that we will just find the time to read. We'll make the time to read. It's summer after all. We want to do more reading, so we just will. Yeah, that doesn't happen, does it? No. So what I would love for you to do first is think about what your summer looks like. I know many of us listening to this podcast are educators or librarians who have summers off with children. What does your new rhythm look like in the summer? Or maybe it didn't change at all. You're still going to work at the same time and you're still in a 9 to 5 kind of position. But what about when you get home? What about summers? What about those weeks that maybe you do have off for vacation? What does your new summer rhythm look like? Does your morning routine change? Does your daily routine change? How about your evening routine? What about your wake up times, your bedtime? What about some of the tasks or the errands or the activities that you usually do? Are they still there? Are they gone? Are there other ones in their place? Just take a few minutes to sit down and chart the new rhythm of what a summer week might look like for you. Now, notice I said rhythm. I didn't say schedule because these are bound to shift and change. But overall, what does the upcoming season look like for you? And where might you schedule time for reading? Now, if you want, if you're like me and you love your calendar, go ahead and plug in a half an hour of reading a couple times a week in your calendar. Keep it sacred. Make sure you keep it. But if you don't need that kind of accountability or you don't want it because your schedule doesn't allow for it, just think where you might plug in that time in your new rhythm. Do you think you want to read in the morning, first things first, before the day gets busy? Do you envision yourself being a nighttime reader to help the day unwind? Do you know that you'll have newfound pockets of time during the day or while the kids are at sports or at summer activities where you know you could just have your book close by and you could steal 20 minutes in the car or at the park or wherever you happen to be waiting? Think about your new summer rhythm and schedule a time, whether that's a physical block scheduled in your calendar or just a mental holding space of where you want to try to get most of your summer reading done. Having that plan as concrete or untangible as you want it to be will help you to think forward into this new season and really think, where might most of my reading life come? Now, the beauty of summer is that hopefully there are unexpected pockets of time that come up so you can read because you are trying to have a slower, more relaxed season. And that's great too. But think about at a minimum where you might schedule your time to make sure you are getting some of that reading in that you so desperately want this summer. Now, step 2 is to build your book stack. Now, if you listened to last week's episode, you know all about that reading challenge to choose 3 books over the summer. A book to help you be the kind of person you want to be in the summer, to feel the way you want to feel, and to do the things you want to do. You can always revisit that episode if you need help building your book stack, but I recommend that you build a stack of 3 books right at the start of the summer. Now, that doesn't mean that that stack can't change. It can, and maybe it probably will. But the idea is that you are prepared with those 3 books. There's no finishing one book and then spending too much time worrying about what the next one should be, or trying to find it, or realizing that it's out at the library and you can't get it on Libby or Hoopla. No, I want you to have 3 books so that even if everything else went down in flames, you would have those 3 books that you can read. And I want you to keep them somewhere you can see them. Don't tuck them away on a shelf. Don't tuck them away even on your bedside table. put them out where you can see them and it reminds you that you want to make the time to read. Now, step 3 for your reading life might be a bit unexpected, but once I say it, you're going to know why because, well, you know me. And that's choose your notebook and your pens. Of course, right? Choose your notebook and your pens. It doesn't mean go buy a new one unless you really want a summer notebook and a summer set of pens, then by all means, please do it. But I want you to have that notebook out, whether it's new or old, or just a couple of pages out of a notebook you already have. You know that I think magic can happen when we write in response to our reading, whether that's just collecting beautiful quotes, jotting down a couple of questions, or writing in whatever way you want to based on what you've read. I think it's important to have that notebook and that pen close by. So you choose, but make sure you have that handy. And I recommend that you keep it next to your reading stack so that everything is all together, which brings me to step 4. I want you to create a reading space. Maybe it's a reading studio. Maybe it's a reading nook. Maybe it's a reading bag, a reading tote, a reading basket, a reading bin. You get my idea, right? I want you to have one central space that feels good to you, that you could keep all of this stuff visible. So your book stack visible, your notebook is visible, and you've got this space where if you needed to, you could pick it right up and you can move to a different location. You could take it outside on a beautiful day. If it's raining, you could take it inside to your favorite chair. If the kids are going to play with friends at the park, you can lift it right up into your hands and you can tote it off with you. What is a space, ideally a portable space, that you could create for yourself and keep it visible to remind you that this space matters? This physical and tangible space matters as a reminder to make the actual space in your day to do this kind of reading and hopefully writing that you want to do. Now, step 5. Steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 seemed fun, right? Step 5 may cause some of you to hyperventilate just a little bit, and that is to clear the apps from your phone. One of the most distractible items is in our hands all the time, and that is our phone. And I know that you could be nicely settled into reading a good book, but when that text message goes off, you look. When that notification dings, you look, right? And that takes you away from your reading. And every time you're taken away from your reading with a dopamine hit of a notification, it takes away what we've been working to do to our parasympathetic nervous system, which is to calm down. It takes it away every single time. So I would love you to clear the apps from your phone. Just do a quick swipe. You probably have a bazillion apps on your phone that you don't even know are there, right? That you don't even use. Go ahead and take this time to delete the ones that you don't want stealing time from you this summer. Just go ahead and delete them. Then, with the ones that are left, move them off your home screen. Your home screen should only have the apps that you feel really good about looking at every day. So for me, I've got my Kindle app, I've got my NetGalley app, I have my Voxer app, right? I've got the things that I know if I look at those, they're going to move me into the direction of the kind of day I want to have. All the social media apps, all of those extra game apps, they come on the second screen or later so that they are not in my immediate line of vision. So number 1, delete some apps. Number 2, move them off of your home screen, the ones that will distract you, and move the other more reading-based apps that I'll get to in a minute to your home screen. And then number 3, if all that terrifies you, if you don't do anything else at all, go into your settings and change your notifications. You don't have to get instant notifications for every single app that you have. Pick and choose. Be strategic so that the things that are interrupting you are the things that you want or need to interrupt you, not your social media apps, not your push notifications from whatever game you happen to be playing or the shopping app that you were using. Doing that will make sure that once you actually make the time to read and you're reading, that you will stay that way. So in order to prepare, we're going to clear the decks, clear the apps and the notifications on our digital devices. Which brings me to step 6. Once you have cleared the deck, so to speak, it's time to get the tools you want to use in your summer reading life ready. So we could go old school here and make sure that you've got your library card in your wallet, in your purse. My library still uses, the old-fashioned cards that you have to swipe. So make sure you've got your library card ready. If you have any gift cards laying around to your favorite local indie, get those out, put them in the purse where they're going to be easily accessible. And then think about the digital apps that you want to use for your reading life and move them to the home screen. It could be an app like Hoopla or Libby or Libro, right? Or whatever apps you want. Maybe you have the new journal app and that's going to help you with your writing life. By all means, move that to the homepage too. But get your devices ready, have the apps you need on them, make sure the Kindle is charged, make sure whatever device you are going to be reading on, perhaps it's the iPad, make sure that's charged and ready to go. And you do the same thing to your home screen so that when you open it up, it is a big, tangible reminder that you don't really want to go on social media, you want to read. Okay, so steps 1 through 6, we have gotten our space ready, we're getting our books ready, we are ready to go. Step 7 is to find a friend. Get a book bestie. Get a community to connect with, right? My framework is called the Habits, Hearts, and Community Framework. First, we have to get the habits in place. Then we have to make sure we're reading and writing things that we love. And then we have to connect ourselves within a broader community so that we keep doing the work, right? It fills us up. It gives us motivation and inspiration, and especially FOMO, right? The fear of missing out. When other people are sharing the books that they've read and all of the summer reading titles that they have finished, you can't help but want to do that too. And that gives you motivation to keep your reading life going strong in your own life. So maybe you reach out to a family member or a friend in your inner circle that you see every day. Maybe you reach out to a fellow reader that doesn't live close by, but you can text or voice message or Vox. Or if you don't have any readers that you can instantly think of to do that summer collaboration with, you know where to find us. Head to Facebook, join the Get Literate Facebook community. We are in there talking about the books we're reading, the ways that we're notebooking, we're asking each other questions, we're sharing fun tools and recommendations and bookish and notebookish memes. It's just a really positive place. So that's the kind of community that can lift you up and motivate you to keep your reading life going strong this summer. Now, number 8, I want you to do 2 things in number 8. I want you to choose a signal and choose a tracker. So what do I mean by choose a signal? I want you to pair your summer reading life with some sort of signal, or maybe I say trigger, right? Something that's going to signal to your system, your nervous system, that, hey, it is time to relax. It is time to get comfy and get my book and snuggle in. Now that signal depends on you. Maybe it's lighting a candle. Maybe it's putting a certain scent in your oil diffuser. Maybe it's putting classical music on. Maybe it's putting an ASMR room on in the background. Maybe it's getting your favorite cup of iced coffee brewing. Maybe it's your favorite snack. Your signal can be whatever you want it to be, but if you get in the habit of pairing your reading life with that signal or trigger, that is going to help get you into that parasympathetic nervous system, calm kind of state faster. And it's going to act as a reminder that when you see or smell or hear or taste those things, oh, by the way, you can read. So the signal will get you started. The tracker will keep you motivated. Now, not all of us are motivated by trackers, right? I love Gretchen Rubin's 4 Tendencies framework. upholders, obligers, questioners, rebels. And depending what our personality is, the idea of tracking our reading can be very, very motivating. And you can do this in a couple of different ways. If you have a paper planner, maybe you just put a smiley face inside the calendar square every day that you have read. Maybe you put a little pink dot every day that you have read. Maybe you actually print out a tracker sheet, a habit tracker. I have one in my community if you'd like one that I'm putting inside of the show notes. That's where you just shade in every day that you have done something. And so you can see that this builds over time, right? So whatever you choose, maybe it's sticky note on your coffee pot, with a tally mark of every time you read when you brew your cup of coffee. You get as creative or as logical as you'd like, but choosing a way to track your reading in a celebratory manner is key. Don't use it to beat yourself up for the days that you didn't read or the days that you didn't track in what you wanted to track. No, use it as motivation to keep the streak going. But if the streak breaks, that's okay. A day with a little bit of reading is better than a day of no reading. And a week where you only read 1 or 2 days is better than a week that you just gave up. So use that tracker to help motivate you. Now, number 9. Now we're going to get to the good stuff. I want you to choose an intrinsic reward. I want you to reward yourself for reading. Now, we know that reading itself is a reward for all of those physical and cognitive and mental benefits. But I want you to think about how you could reward yourself for actually engaging in the reading you wanted to do, because we know it can be hard to make the time and find the time. So if you do that, how else could you reward yourself beyond the actual act of reading? Maybe you plan to purchase a new book that you get to keep after your first one is complete. Maybe you're going to set up a coffee date with a bookish friend so that you can talk about the books you've read together. Maybe you're going to splurge and you're going to buy those book darts or those sticky notes that you've had your eye on. By the way, if you are inside the Get Literate Facebook community, I just posted a link to a video of the stationery awards in Japan. And there are some really neat things in there, especially those sticky notes that I think could be great rewards for some summer reading. Now, make sure you're choosing a reward that lines up to the action, right? Don't reward yourself for reading by going off and doing something completely unrelated to reading, right? If you want to do that anyway. But reward yourself in a way that's going to keep fueling and inspiring your reading life. And now, number 10. Number 10 is, I want you to start off your summer reading with a bang. I want you to do something big. I want you to kick off the summer reading season in a way that signals to you, I mean business. Now, this can be whatever you want it to be. This may be giving yourself the gift of an hour at your favorite coffee shop with a book, and you're just going to read for that entire time and indulge yourself and not care what housework isn't done yet. Maybe you go even bigger and you create a DIY reading retreat and you grab your basket, your portable basket of materials and your iced coffee, and you go outside and you're in the hammock for a couple of hours or as long as you can muster. Maybe you just go to your local indie and you splurge on your summer books and you let yourself buy them along with a new notebook and your favorite pen because you mean business this summer and you are going to make use of those books and notebooks. And that is a signal that you deserve it. I bet right now, when I said start with a bang, you had an idea of what that could be. I want you to just lean into it. What is one way for you that could kick off a summer reading season? And then I just want you to do it. Just do it and get started. So let me recap really quickly what these 10 steps were. Number 1, chart your new summer rhythms and schedule a time to read. Number 2, Build your 3-book stack based on who you want to be, how you want to feel, and what you want to do this summer. Choose your notebook and your pen so that you can capture some of the magic you are finding on the pages. Step 4, create a portable space to put those books and all of your bookish things inside of so that you can take it on the go and keep it visible as a reminder to read. Step 5, clear your apps on your phone and move the apps you want to have to the home screen, which is number 6. Get those bookish tools ready. Library card, bookstore gift cards, Hoopla, Libby, Libro. Charge those devices. Step 7, find a friend and hopefully join the Get Literate Facebook community. Step 8, choose a signal and a tracking method. Right? We want to do both of those things in step 8. Step 9, choose some sort of reading-related intrinsic reward to keep you going all summer. And by the way, choose as many of them as you want throughout the months of June, July, and August. And step 10, start off with a bang. Kick off the summer season exactly the way you want it to begin. And there you have it. 10 ways so that you can prepare to have the best summer reading season yet. Now, don't think that I have forgotten about having the best summer notebooking series yet either. Next week, I will have an episode focused on a beautiful summer writing life or a summer journaling life or notebooking life, whatever term you want to use. But before then, I want you to share with me, what are you doing to prepare for your summer reading life? Are there things that you're doing that I have forgotten or I haven't mentioned? Tell me about them. Which one of these things seems to be the key to unlock your best summer reading life yet? I want to know about those too. You can head online to alitlife.com and you can comment in the show notes for this episode. You can head to your favorite social media platform and comment on the social post that I have made for this episode, or go ahead and send me a DM. You can email me at stephanieaffinito@gmail.com, or my favorite, which is just click that little audio button in your podcast platform and send me a voice message wherever and whenever you can, right after you're done listening. And one more thing, if you want extra support, extra information, extra inspiration, extra motivation for having the best summer reading life yet, well, you can join me inside my Get Literate Patreon community. There we are reading and writing all summer long. Each month we choose a new theme, and yes, you can bet that the themes this summer are related to some wonderful summer reading. We have bibliotherapy book calendars with a book recommendation for every day of the month, bonus episodes on Sunday that will coach you to the kind of reading and writing life you want to have, First Chapter Fridays, which is a reading of an adult book to get you hooked into your next read, and of course, a live book club and a whole bunch of other things along the way. And if you want even more than that, and you want to really dive into the idea of restorative reading and writing this summer, well, you are in luck because my restorative reading and writing course is set to launch soon. We will spend the next couple of weeks together talking about what restorative reading is, how to choose the perfect books, how to use your notebook to make magic in your life, and so much more. Not only that, there will be self-paced videos so that you can get started right away, but there will also be regular live meeting calls, coaching calls, and my favorite, virtual reading studio sessions. So if either of those things intrigue you, reach out, ask me about them. I can send you more information, and you can head to alitlife.com to learn more and sign up there too. Here's to our best summer reading season yet. I hope you start action on these 10 steps today so that you can start your best summer reading life tomorrow. Thanks for listening, everyone, and I'll see you inside the next episode of the Get Literate podcast. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Get Literate podcast. You'll find links to all the books, resources, and ideas mentioned in the show notes and at alitlife.com. Plus, if you want more, you might like to join my Patreon community. There, you'll find additional inspiration for your reading and writing life, like bonus podcast episodes, bibliotherapy book calendars, monthly book clubs, notebooking challenges, live events, giveaways, and much, much more. It's only $5 a month, and you get instant access to all of the previous content too. You can learn more at getliterate.co. And one more thing, if you love what you listened to today, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast, or take a screenshot of the episode and text it to a friend. This helps the podcast grow and builds our bookish and notebookish community too. Thanks for listening.